everybody. How is everybody doing? Welcome to Trans Gurus again. We are here to talk with you, to be with you, and to try to share some of our incredible wisdom.
Incredible. Incredible.
Yes. Well, the topic that we've chosen today is something about what we have learned about living in times of uncertainty. And I'm sure that every single one of the guru has got some nice story to tell. So, who wants to go first?
It's like we're always, it seems like we're always on the threshold of some kind of uncertainty. And uh, and I don't know why I was thinking about that this week about because I think probably a lot of people feel like there's some uncertainty. I wonder about, all the different coping strategies and things that we've had to learn the hard way about living with uncertainty. And it's so much of what we talk about every week is part of that, like, being spiritually grounded and having close friends and um, confidence and things like that are all really essential. And then I was just thinking about little things and like how much having a savings account has helped. Because for a good bit of my life, I was like had a big family and living paycheck to paycheck and that sort of stuff, and it was hard to have some savings. But now, when you hear people talk about moving or things like that, having some savings would be real key to that. But I just um, try to continue to believe that that I am going to proceed as though success is inevitable, and I just have a lot of confidence that I'm going to be all right. I'm going to be with people I love, and I'm going to have everything I need. Um, but it still doesn't mean there's not times of anxiety or anything like that, because especially when I hear friends talk about leaving the United States, they have thought about it that much, uh, and I hope it doesn't come to that. I really don't. But uh, um, everybody's in, like, if you're younger and you've got a family and you've got a job with a lot of responsibility, it's hard to just pull up stakes and go. And so what might work for the four of us here in this conversation might not work well at all. But I I do know that the things that we talk about every week are all part of that, and just having a just kind of that positive view of yourself, that no matter what happens, uh, I'm enough. I'm enough. And so that's and then the other thing is like the media day, we're all still seem to be making it pretty well. So I'll give it back to you, Ella. Thanks.
Yeah, I know what you mean. I know what you mean. I've got a friend of mine, and she was telling me today, are you ready for whatever? And I said, "Jeez, very simple. $10,000 of cash and a flight ticket somewhere safe."
Well,
Anyway, Jimmy, would you like to go next?
Sure. So good to be with everybody. And so today we're talking about what we have learned living in times of uncertainty. And that's been since the beginning of time. None of us have a crystal ball. So I read something a long time ago, and it always stuck with me. When everything is when everything is uncertain, everything is possible. And that's how I look at life. And I think I love that uh, comment that Bobby made. Proceed as a success is inevitable, and that's a mindset. Uh, we have to believe in ourselves that we have what it takes to do what is necessary in any given circumstance. So we live in an uncertain world, but we need to be certain of our own ability.
Mhm.
And through self-improvement and growing as humans, we become more confident in ourselves, like we spoke about a couple weeks ago. Self-confidence and self-assuredness and our sense of resourcefulness are all ingredients in our thinking that allow us to survive in an unstable world. Um, so in an unstable world, be the stable person. In an uncertain world, be the person that emulates certainty. And what I mean by that is the resourcefulness is the greatest resource. So as we as we live our life, we get up every day, we have ideas and intention of what is going to unfold during that day, but there's just an infinite amount of we interact with almost an infinite number of other moving parts. So the way that these infinite parts dance and interact with one another requires a brain that is able to um, respond and not react, respond to how we interact with other things and people and objects in our daily life as our day unfolds. And that ability to interact with other moving things in real time provide a sense of stability and a sense of certainty that I am I'm at one with the universe. And I think that's the key. When we become at one with the universe, we understand that there's a natural flow of energy to the universe, and we're tuned into that natural flow of energy. Now we're dancing with all other components of the universe in a harmonious way. And that's how we can survive and thrive in a world that's constantly evolving, Ella.
Yep, I totally agree with you. I totally agree with you. The world is always evolving.
Mhm.
Raj, it's your turn, girl.
It's my turn. Hi, everybody. Oh my goodness. So first of all, I went to Pride this past weekend, Stonewall Pride. And I just want to say this before I get into the topic. That is the one day a year that I truly, truly feel unity amongst the different groups in our community. The L, the G, the B, the T, the Q. That is the day that you just it's that unity spirit, that unified spirit. Now there's other times through the year, but Pride is usually the one that is like where you really feel it. So it was great to be out there. I was on the Pride Center float, and like I said, thousands of people showed up. So, in regards to the topic, well, life, first of all, life is a journey, not a destination. I had to
Mhm.
learn that. An ever changing journey. And I think a lot of us, we get in this mindset from young, it's about stability and finding stability and having things like, in a structured set way, and your life is stable. And I think a lot of us, that's what we strive for. But life teaches us that along the journey, there will be changes, there will be situations that occur that kind of, for lack of a better phrase, is a curveball. It throws you, life throws you a curveball. And I think there's two type of mindsets. There's the optimist and the pessimist. And I find that, and I've been both. I've been both. I'm more of the optimist, but I've also had moments where I was being a pessimist. And what I found from my experience is when you're optimistic, there's more of an empowering, um, all is well, feel good kind of state that you have no matter what's going on. It's kind of like if you're having a bad day, and then you get negative, you get even more negative, and you start lashing out on people, and then you attract them lashing back out on you, and then your bad day becomes worse, as opposed to like dealing with the situation, the quote unquote negative situation, and trying to handle it in a positive, optimistic type of way. And also looking for the opportunities from the so-called negative experience,
Mhm.
because there's always opportunities. Let's take COVID, for instance. Unfortunately, many people died, but a lot of us didn't, and we were able to live through it. And what COVID did for us is it made a lot of people slow down. It made a lot of people really look at their lives and what they were putting their priorities at. It made people reprioritize and kind of look at what is really important in life. Like what are the real important things in life? And people got opportunities. People started businesses during COVID.
Mhm.
I ran into, I was at Rainbow. I love Rainbow. You can get some really good deals there. And I was looking at the sales rack. And so, anyway, one of the girls that works there, she was telling me that her and her husband, they have a party bus business that they run on the side. And what happened was they had, taken out a loan, I think, to like get the bus, and then they were making payments on it, but they didn't own the bus during COVID. Remember those business loans that the government was offering? They took advantage of that, got the loan, paid off their bus. So now they own their party bus, and everything that they make is coming into their profit. I mean, besides like the upkeep of the bus. But so what I'm saying, I use that as an example that even when bad things are happening, you can find the opportunities, you can find the blessings. And sometimes it's not easy. Don't think I'm sitting here like I'm skipping through life and and smelling. I try to smell the roses, but what I'm saying is, like, I know how hard it can be, how difficult and challenging it can be. The other day I saw a video, and the guy was talking about paranoia. And he says, instead of having paranoia, try having pro-nora, noia, which means that instead of walking through life being paranoid about, oh my God, the negative things are going to get me. Oh my God, the world is against me. Walk through life expecting that you have support. The world is a supportive place for you. Good things are coming your way. Expect the best. Expect the best. And that video was really powerful because I've seen it in my day to day, where if I wake up and I set the tone, take time to set the tone of the day, it really does make me feel happier, more empowered, and just I feel like I'm on a good footing to deal with whatever might come my way. Ella?
Mhm.
Yeah, absolutely. I have to tell you something. Living in times of uncertainty. I'm going to ask you another question. What is certainty?
Hmm.
Yeah,
I think certainty,
that's a good question.
it's
Uh,
a state of mind,
mhm. Yeah.
very much a state of mind. And looking back in my life, my 2 days of life, did I ever have a time of perfect certainty?
Mhm.
Of course, I had days which I thought it was everything perfect.
Mhm. Right.
But is that
Yeah, I think you're exactly right. I think most people, like when we're talking about voters, certainty looks like predictability. It's like the roads are going to be fine. I've got a safe. I'm going to work. It's going to be open. The bank is going to be operating. I've got a paycheck. And there's all that predictability that goes into it. And what I went to my 55th high school reunion this past weekend, and that's heavy, heavy, heavy country. And and it just made me be a little nervous, like, is everybody going to be nice to me? Because I've changed a lot since high school. And but yeah, I was talking to one of my friends, and he was just talking about all this great stuff. Real big rights. It's not pie. You know what you like. You got it, and I know what I like, and I need it. And, uh, I think there's a whole lot of people that the predictability is missing, and now they want everybody to be all male or all female. They want everybody to be cisgender, heterosexual, and 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 the predictability to all of that is, well, it's nothing they ever should have desired. But I know that's part of what's going on with uncertainty, is that people demand a certain level of predictability in their daily life, and they don't like it when it's not there.
Yeah. I do agree with you completely. I mean, let's put it this way. We've been living throughout, many, many, many decades in a very safe and secure environment. That doesn't mean that that there was certain. It was just a little bit more calmed down. Right now, we're going through unsafe, and then go back to an area which is a little bit more safe. But certainty, I don't think that there is any. I think the only certainty that you have is the certainty in your own head, and you've got something which is called, you are stable with yourself, and that gives your feeling of feeling better. And of course, you have an environment problem which is a little bit more stable, not certain, but stable.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, this
You know,
is my
Ella,
point of
it's
view.
funny. Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
Go ahead, go
No,
ahead.
what I was going to say, it just came to my mind when Bobby was talking about this person that freaked out over the rocking chairs with the rainbow colors. Recently, I was at an event, and there's an older white gay cisgendered man that I see in the community, so we know each other. We're not friends, but we see each other and speak. So he came over to the table that I was at, and we're just doing our basically our salutations, hi, how are you, and then all of a sudden he says, I everywhere I turn it's trans this and trans that, trans this and trans that, and I'm getting sick of it. He's like, we're just, it's like it's too much now, right? So I'm sitting there listening, and in my mind I'm thinking, now you know how we felt since 1969, when Stonewall happened and we were pushed to the curb all those years, and everything was gay, white gay man. This is me thinking it. I was thinking it in my head while he was talking. So when he finished, I looked at him and I said, "Well, I guess we're making up for lost time." And he and I smiled. And you know what? He looked at me, and it's almost like I felt like he got it. That
Wow.
one simple sentence, we're making up for lost time. Because I didn't want to get into a long debate, but that is an example of, because of his whatever issues, insecurities, his privilege that he's been used to, the fact that we are getting more attention and like we've come to the forefront makes him feel unstable and uncomfortable. Meanwhile, that same situation is making me feel more stable, because finally our issues are at the forefront, we have a little more right. So that's an example of like the same thing, how it makes one person feel unstable and the other one feel stable. Anyway, that just came to my mind. Ella?
Yeah, let's wrap up. Anything to add to that, Jimmy?
Sure. So uh, I like the paradox here where you try to define what is certain. I don't think anything is certain
No.
because the world is continually evolving. Nothing is stationary. Everything is moving. All things are in a constant dance with each other. And how I look at all this is that I have an innate feeling that I am certain that I can handle any uncertainty. So
Mm.
therefore, uncertainty does not exist. So that's how I look at it. There's I think it was Raji or someone. There's always a solution,
Yeah.
always. So if it's of this planet or if it's of this universe, if there is a this, there's a that. Up, down, left, right, in, out, the yin and yang. So if there's a problem, there's a solution. And uh, I think where people get all befuddled is they try to solve problems in an elevated emotional state.
Right.
I read this morning when I was watching some videos, getting ready. I think it said, you never saw a fighter enter the ring mad. So you never saw, because if you're going to fight, you need to have your senses collected about you. So if we learn how to collect ourselves and evaluate situations in real time, and then with a cool, calm, and collected mind, analyze the situation, and then they'll always, regardless of what kind of situation we find ourselves in, there's always a solution. And so believing in that, uh, uncertainty becomes certain because I am certain that I can handle any uncertain situation that I find myself that comes upon me, and that's a state of mind. And I think as gurus, this is one of the messages of the reason we're here. This is all part of uh, the enlightened soul, so to speak, self mastery, self actualization. That I am the master of myself, therefore I am the master of my universe, because we are all the same. We are all part of the same giant living, breathing organism known as the universe. Yeah. And this is something that I may have read a week or two ago, but not in time. I think it was last week. I'm going to say this again because it's kind of parlays into what we're talking about tonight. Not in time, place, or circumstance, but in the person lies success. And I'm going to say that again. Not in time, place, or circumstance, but in the person lies success. Ella.
Absolutely. Yeah, every day there is a challenge, and every day there is a nice challenge to overcome. And take it from a positive way, not a negative way, because, well, you're learning.
Mhm.
Step more.
Yeah.
Bobby, would you like to go?
Yeah.
As a
I
final.
appreciated what Jimmy had said earlier about the importance of gratitude and focusing on what you do have and being really grateful for that, because it is real easy to get all caught up in what's missing. Well, how much better everything would be if you only had this. And of course, that's such a trap. And that only makes the uncertainty worse. But it was funny. I was thinking about a couple of things that really kind of belonged to Charles Darwin and evolution. And one of the things he was most upset about was that people believed that survival of the fittest, and that was being misunderstood as being a physical specimen and that kind of strength. And what he really meant was the species that is more adaptable to change is the one that will survive. And so that's a different kind of fitness, your adaptability to change. And I saw a thing recently that was illiteracy in the 21st century is not going to look like people that don't know how to read and write. It's going to look like people that don't know how to learn, unlearn, and relearn. And I think that's really essential, especially when I think of the friends my age that have just blew off technology 20 years ago. You got a flip phone and can't text and all of this stuff. And not to really knock them, but it's like you really have to make up your mind that there is stuff that you have to unlearn. We all have stuff that we have to unlearn. So learning, unlearning, and relearning is going to be the essential skill going forward, I think. So that's
Yeah,
it. Back to you.
absolutely. That's something I've been going through for many decades as well. Raj,
Yeah, wow. Well, everyone here has said something that resonates with me. Uh, that Bobby, it's so true, about what you just said about learning and unlearning and relearning. I have a friend, she's in her 60s, and she refuses to even try to learn to text or to do an email. And I've offered to help her, and she's like, no, 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 I'm not doing it. I'm not doing that stuff. And I've seen so many situations where she's had to ask a friend to do an email for her or text for her because I tell her we're living in a world now where email and text is like pretty much a standard thing now. So that just she came to my mind. And so that's so powerful. And so in closing, I would say to everyone that the power is within you.
yeah,
And so no matter the situation, and Jimmy had talked about it's within you, and that really does resonate because it truly is. The whole thing of being successful, it's not so much like the location that you are in the world, or the time, or whatever. It's your belief in yourself, and like your determination to accomplish and fulfill things. But also, I would like to leave people with this: kindness.
yes.
Kindness. That whole thing, survival of the fittest, and like, oh, I have to knock someone down to get mine, and that sort of thing. There's a saying I recently heard: there's enough for everyone, but never enough for the greedy ones. There's enough for everyone, but never enough for the greedy ones. And so try and remember that being kind goes a long way. And last is the gratitude. I've talked about this many times. When you can be thankful for what you have, you will attract more. You will attract more. If you can be thankful for the things you have, the little bit that you have, you will see you'll attract more. Ella.
Absolutely. But I think that fit, the fit is as well to be able to be adaptable. And, fit adaptation goes hand in hand. It's for me, it's something which has been following all my life because I've been in so many countries. I've seen so many different things, and the adaptability is number one. You have
Mm.
you have to be, a chameleon, actually. I have to say. And there is some kind of chameleon in me because There is, I've been in so many places and try to, oh yeah, to fit in. In the beginning, it's so difficult, and you see big mountain, but never forget one thing: you can only move a mountain stone by stone, one
Yeah.
by one. No other way. You cannot do
That's
everything at
true.
once.
Come a chameleon.
Yeah, and positiveness, and being friendly and adaptable, and understand the others too, because without that you don't go anywhere. Okay, I think with those words we're gonna end for today. It was really great. We'll be here next week. Somehow I have to travel a little bit again next week. Sorry about that. But that's my
Get
life.
in your suitcase one day, Ella.
We'll try to info. Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll try to fit something in. Okay.
Okay.
Bye, everybody. Enjoy
Bye.
enjoy
Love you so
enjoy
much.
your weekend, and